Once you have successfully purchased your GS1 UPC barcode, the next step is to proceed with creating your product listing. Many beginners make the mistake of buying inventory first and then later realizing that they either cannot sell those products or are restricted from selling them on Amazon. This leads to situations where sellers end up stuck with hundreds or even thousands of dollars worth of stock that they cannot use or list. So, always add your product to Amazon's system before making any purchases for resale. To begin adding your product on Amazon's marketplace, you must first create an Amazon seller account. You can register by visiting Amazon.com. Once your account is set up, log into your Seller Central dashboard. From the main page, click the Add Products button or open the top menu, go to Catalog and select Add Products. This will open the List Your Products section. Before moving forward, it is important to understand how product listings work on Amazon. Unlike platforms such as eBay or other marketplaces that are primarily seller-oriented, Amazon focuses on products first. On seller-oriented platforms, each seller creates an individual listing for the item they are selling. For example, if you search for iPhone mobile phones on eBay, you will find hundreds of different listings for the same product from multiple sellers. Amazon, on the other hand, operates differently. Instead of showing hundreds of separate listings, Amazon displays one main listing for a specific product, such as a new iPhone 16 mobile phone, and occasionally another for refurbished or renewed versions. Every seller offering that same product adds their inventory to that single listing and competes with others for the same customer orders. With this in mind, when adding your product to Amazon, ask yourself, am I selling something that already exists on Amazon? If you are doing wholesale or retail arbitrage, the product likely already exists on the platform. In that case, you will add your inventory to an existing listing. But if you are selling a private label item, meaning you are the manufacturer or brand owner offering a unique product under your own brand name, then you will need to create a completely new listing from scratch. Although the process for both approaches is similar, creating a new listing for your own brand is generally more detailed and requires additional steps. So we will begin by covering that process first. Once you understand how to create a new listing, you will easily grasp how to add your product to an existing one. On the List Your Products page, you will see several options. Because we are creating a new listing for a product that does not yet exist on Amazon, choose the Blank Form option or select I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon, depending on your dashboard layout. Before you click Start, pay attention to the section mentioning products requiring approval and compliance references. You cannot list and sell just any item on Amazon without meeting specific requirements. Certain types of products need special government approvals or compliance certifications before they can be listed. Even if other sellers are selling the same item, that does not necessarily mean you are automatically authorized to do the same. We will explore compliance and approval requirements in more depth in the next part of this course. For now, click Start. The first field you will see is Item Name. If you hover over the question mark icon beside it, you'll see that this refers to your product's title. This title appears publicly on your product page in the Amazon Marketplace. Your final title should be optimized with relevant, well-researched keywords that describe your product accurately. Amazon's system does not automatically know what your item is, so it relies on the information you provide. A clear and keyword-rich title helps your listing appear in search results. This part is extremely important because Amazon uses your title to index your product and determine when and where it appears during customer searches. A strong, optimized title increases your product's visibility, helping it rank higher and appear on the first page of search results, which is where over 70% of all online sales occur. Getting your title right plays a key role in your success. We will go deeper into keyword research and optimization later in the course. For now, if you are just creating a listing to check whether your product is allowed or restricted, you can enter a simple descriptive title. For instance, I am currently working on a product called Latest iPhone 17 Mobile Case Covers. On my listing, the title is already keyword optimized. I could simply copy that title and paste it here, or for the moment, I could type iPhone 17 Mobile Cases. You can always revise and improve the title later. Once you have entered your title, Amazon may suggest a category it believes fits your item. If the suggestion is incorrect, select the correct category manually. If you are uncertain, visit a competitor's product page, scroll down to their product details, and check which category they have used. Once you confirm it, click Confirm. Next, you will start filling in your product details. At the top of the screen, you will see that you are currently on Step 1, Product Identity. The first 3 fields are already filled based on the information you entered earlier. If you need to make any adjustments, click Edit to change the product type or select a different category. You will also see a Variations option. This is used when your product comes in multiple sizes, colors, or styles. For example, if you are selling iPhone 17 mobile phone cover cases in different colors, you would enable this option. When using Apple-related terms, ensure you comply with trademark guidelines. In my example, I have only one version of the product, so I will leave this unchecked. Now let's discuss the brand name field, which is extremely important. Be very careful when entering this, as mistakes here can cause major issues later, and you will not be able to change it once your listing goes live. If you are doing wholesale or arbitrage, enter the official brand name of the product you are selling. For example, if you are listing used iPhone mobile phones, enter Apple. We will revisit this again later when discussing how to add your product to an existing listing. If you are doing private label sales, enter your own brand name. If this is your first time using this brand on Amazon, you will need to complete the brand approval process. In my case, I am selling private label products and have my own brand name. I have completed my brand approval process, and my brand is also registered in Amazon Brand Registry. Therefore, I will simply enter my brand name in this box without ticking the option that says, "This product does not have a brand name," since my brand approval is already completed. If you decide not to pursue brand approval, you can check the box stating, "This product does not have a brand name." However, this will list your item as generic, which I strongly advise against. Always focus on building your own brand identity. If you list your item as generic now and later want to establish a brand, you will not be able to edit that field. You would have to create a completely new listing and lose all the reviews and sales data from your existing one. Rather than listing your product as generic, if you already have a registered trademark, you can apply through Amazon Brand Registry directly. If you do not yet have a trademark, you can use Amazon IP Accelerator to start your trademark application and still enroll your brand while it is pending approval. Next is the External Product ID field. This step often causes confusion for new sellers because it deals with your product's unique global identifier. Every product sold worldwide is assigned a barcode called a UPC, which stands for Universal Product Code. This is the same barcode scanned at checkout in retail stores like Walmart or Costco. Each product variation has its own unique UPC, and no 2 products share the same one. If you are doing wholesale or arbitrage, your product will already have a UPC printed on the packaging, so you can simply enter that number. However, if you are selling private label items that you manufacture yourself or source without branding, your products will not come with a UPC, and you must purchase one. Always buy your UPC barcodes directly from the official GS1 website for your region. Avoid purchasing cheap codes from third-party sites, as this often leads to compliance issues. The official GS1 website in the United States currently charges $30 for a single GTN with no annual renewal fees. You only need 1 GTN per unique product variation. If your products meet Amazon's GTN exemption criteria, select "I do not have a product ID," then submit a GTN exemption request for that specific brand and category. If your products do not fall under GTIN exemption eligibility criteria, then you will need a UPC barcode to list your products on Amazon. Once you have purchased your barcode from GS1, copy your UPC number and paste it into this field. GS1 also provides the EAN version and image files for both types of barcodes. From the drop-down menu, select either UPC or EAN, then click Next. That will bring you to Step 2, Description. The very first field you will encounter here is labeled Product Description. This section appears on every product detail page. In this space, you should provide a thorough and compelling explanation of your product, outlining its main features, benefits, and the qualities that make it different from others in the market. Your description should clearly communicate why your product is valuable and why a customer should choose it over similar options. It is also important to conduct proper keyword research and include those relevant keywords naturally within your description. Doing this improves the visibility of your listing, increases traffic, enhances your product ranking on Amazon, and ultimately helps you generate more sales. There are several tools that can simplify the keyword research process. One of the most effective and reliable tools I personally use is Magnet by Helium 10. By entering a seed keyword, Magnet generates an extensive list of related, high-value keywords for your product. Another very useful tool is Cerebro, which allows you to uncover the exact keywords your competitors are ranking for. By entering a few of the best-selling competing listings into Cerebro, you can view all of their keyword data and strategically include those terms within your own listing. This provides a significant advantage and helps you compete more effectively. Any fields highlighted in red or marked with an asterisk are mandatory. For now, you can type placeholder text or a simple generic line to move forward. If your interface includes the option, you can click Add More to create additional paragraphs. In some layouts, you may simply type multiple paragraphs directly into the description box. Next, let's look at the bullet points section. These bullet points are displayed at the top of your product detail page. You can add up to 5 bullet points, and I highly encourage using all 5 available slots. Amazon allows up to 5 bullet points by default, and in some categories, flat file uploads may permit more. When writing your bullet points, take time to identify the top 5 key benefits of your product. Focus on how it uniquely solves the customer's problem and what makes it superior to other options on the market. Try to avoid generic, repetitive, or filler phrases that do not contribute to the sale. A simple test I often recommend is this. If you can copy your bullet points and paste them onto a competitor's listing and they still make perfect sense for their product, then your bullet points are not strong enough. Each point should emphasize what sets your product apart. Like your title, these bullet points should also contain relevant keywords to improve your ranking. According to Amazon's most recent policy update, the use of emojis, decorative characters, or promotional claims such as 100% guarantee or best deal is no longer permitted. Ideally, each bullet point should contain between 200 and 250 characters, though the limit may vary depending on your category. Avoid mentioning prices, shipping details, or company names, and keep the focus strictly on the key product benefits and features that influence a buying decision. Now let's move to the images section. This is where you will upload all of your product photographs. I cannot stress enough how essential professional photography is for your listing. Owning a good camera or knowing someone who does not necessarily mean you will get professional results. The quality of your images alone can determine whether your product succeeds or fails on Amazon. Fortunately, professional photography services are not excessively expensive. This investment will pay off significantly when done properly. You can find skilled photographers either locally or through platforms like Fiverr.com. However, since high-quality images are now standard across Amazon, your photos must go a step further by telling a visual story. Shoppers make their buying decisions primarily through images. Most people focus on the photos, and if they do not immediately stand out, customers simply move on to another listing. Your images should highlight your product's main benefits, features, and competitive advantages at a glance. Help customers understand instantly why your product is worth buying. Pay special attention to your main image, as this is the one shown in search results. It needs to be eye-catching, attractive, and professional, or your product risks being overlooked among the many similar listings. Here is a helpful tip. Search for your product on Amazon and browse through the first page of results. Observe which listings capture your attention immediately and analyze what makes them stand out. It could be their lighting, layout, composition, or contrast. Use those insights as inspiration when planning your own images. If you do not yet have professional photos, you can temporarily upload a placeholder image. Just make sure the placeholder accurately represents the actual product you are selling. It must not be random or unrelated. Amazon allows you to save a listing draft without images, but at least one valid image is required before the product can go live. Be cautious about using any external photos. Do not copy images from Google or from competitors' listings. Those images might be copyrighted, and using them can result in severe consequences, including listing suspension, account deactivation, or even legal action for intellectual property infringement. Always upload original photographs that you own and ensure they comply with Amazon's technical image standards. For instance, each image must be at least 1,000 pixels on the longest side to enable zoom capability, and ideally, 2,000 pixels or higher for better clarity. Ensure your file size remains under 10 memory and resolution high within the range of approximately 1,000 to 10,000 pixels. Acceptable image file formats include JPEG, TIFF, PNG, and non-animated GIF. Every image should be clear, high resolution, and free from blurriness or pixelation. Your main image must accurately represent your product with a professional, realistic appearance. It should have a completely white background, showing the product covering at least 85% of the frame. The main image must not include any added text, logos, watermarks, color backgrounds, or decorative borders. If your image fails to meet these criteria, Amazon may suppress your listing until the issue is fixed. Therefore, always verify that your images comply fully before proceeding further. After uploading your images, click on Product Details. From this point, some of the fields you see might vary depending on the type and category of your product. The first option displayed is Customizations. If you hover over the question mark beside it, you will see that this option is meant for sellers who offer customizable or personalized products. It lets customers add custom text, upload an image, or select their preferred options. This feature is most frequently used for seller-fulfilled listings, though some customizable items can also qualify for FBA. If your product is not customizable, simply select No. Next are the model number and model name fields. These exist primarily for your own record keeping and organization. For example, you might enter something like phone 17 case cover in orange as the model number. As your product catalog grows, using consistent model numbers helps you quickly identify and manage your inventory. If you have different sizes or versions, you can include short abbreviations like large or small to indicate large or small, or use any naming system that works best for you. For the model name, I usually enter the product's official name, such as phone 17 case cover. If you are doing wholesale or arbitrage, you can simply use the model name and number printed on the manufacturer's packaging or label. Under the manufacturer field, if you are a private label seller, you are considered the manufacturer, so you should enter your own brand name. If you are selling wholesale or arbitrage products, input the manufacturer's brand name instead. Moving on, we have style and material. These fields are not mandatory, but filling them in can improve the accuracy of your search results. In my case, the style field is not applicable, but for material, I will enter soft TPU. If you need to list multiple materials, click on Add More. Next is color, where you should specify the exact color of your item. Then, in number of pieces, indicate how many items come in one unit. The field itself even mentions that you should enter the number of pieces within the unit being sold. For the part number, I usually reuse the same number as the model number for consistency. Under Item Dimensions, you will need to provide the physical measurements of the product itself rather than the packaging dimensions. For example, a standard phone case typically measures about 7 inches by 3.5 inches. Here's a quick tip. On the right-hand side, you will notice a toggle labeled Displaying Recommended Attributes. By clicking Show All Attributes or a similar option, you can reveal additional optional fields, which vary depending on the category of your product. In my case, a new field called Unit Count appears. This field is optional but can be filled in if relevant. Certain categories benefit from completing these additional attributes because they help clarify product details and enhance search visibility. The description also explains that this attribute mainly applies to products sold by weight, volume, or length. Now let's proceed to the next section, Offer. In this part, you will enter all the details about how your product will be sold. The first field is SKU, which stands for Stock Keeping Unit. This code helps you manage your own inventory. If you already have SKUs in use, enter your existing code here. If not, you can create one. To make things simple, you can even reuse your model number. This field is optional but useful for organization. Next is Quantity, where you specify how many units are currently available for sale. For example, if you have 100 items in stock, you will enter 100 in this field. Then you have Price, which is the amount customers will pay to purchase your item on Amazon. The offering condition type should almost always be set to New, unless you are selling used or refurbished items such as books or electronics. List price represents the manufacturer's suggested retail price, often referred to as MSRP. If you are a wholesale or arbitrage seller, use the manufacturer's recommended retail price. If you are a private label seller, you can set your own. I suggest entering the highest realistic price at which your product could sell. Competitive pricing combined with strong performance metrics such as fulfillment method, customer feedback, and stock availability helps improve your chances of winning the buy box. This can also allow your listing to display promotional badges like limited time deal or strike-through pricing depending on marketplace factors. However, be aware that Amazon now validates list and strike-through prices using your recent pricing data. Therefore, ensure your list price aligns with Amazon's rules and that it has been used for a reasonable duration before you apply any discounts. Lastly, you will choose your fulfillment method. If you prefer to handle packing and shipping yourself every time a customer places an order, select "I will ship this item myself." Alternatively, if you want Amazon to manage storage, packaging, delivery, and customer service on your behalf, select "Amazon will ship and provide customer service." This option enables fulfillment by Amazon, commonly known as FBA. I highly recommend choosing FBA. When using fulfillment by Amazon, once your inventory is sent to Amazon's warehouses, they take care of everything, from picking, packing, labeling, and shipping orders to managing returns and customer queries. FBA sellers also receive the Prime badge on their listings, meaning customers with Amazon Prime can enjoy free 1 or 2 day shipping. This significantly boosts buyer confidence and typically leads to much higher sales, as most customers prefer listings that offer quick and free delivery. In the item package dimensions section, you need to enter the size and weight of your product's packaging. Keep in mind that this measurement is not the same as the actual item size that you entered earlier. Here, you are required to specify the dimensions and weight of the complete package that your product is delivered in. If you are selling a private label product and you do not have a physical sample available to measure or weigh yourself, simply reach out to your supplier for these details. They should be able to provide you with the accurate measurements and total packaged weight. Once you've added this information, scroll up to the top of the page and carefully review all available attribute fields. This is one area where many beginners make major errors. There are often hidden or overlooked options that can greatly affect your product's visibility and sales performance. For instance, you will now see a field labeled Sale Price. If you want to offer your item at a discount, this is where you can enter your sale price and specify the exact date range for when that discount should be active. However, remember that entering a sale price alone does not automatically guarantee that your listing will display a limited time deal or deal badge. The strike-through price might appear depending on marketplace factors, but promotional badges only appear when your product is officially enrolled in Amazon's promotions or deals programs. These can be accessed under tools like price discounts or deals dashboards inside Seller Central. These badges are highly effective, especially during product launches, as they help your item gain traction and attract new buyers by boosting its visibility. Here's a valuable professional tip. If your inventory is scheduled to arrive at Amazon, but your product listing is not yet completely ready, for example, your photos are not finalized or certain details are still incomplete, you can use the Offer Release Date field found in the Offer tab. By setting a future date in this field, you can prevent your listing from going live prematurely. Once all of your details, photos, and content are finalized, you can simply update the offer release date to the current date. This ensures your listing does not appear live with unfinished information or low-quality visuals. Many sellers refer to their product's initial live period as the launch window, a crucial time frame when new listings often experience increased visibility and engagement within Amazon's algorithm. Although this trend has been widely observed by sellers, Amazon has not officially confirmed the duration or specific impact of this period on product ranking. Based on collective experience, the launch window typically lasts between 15 and 30 days, and in some cases may extend up to 90 days. This effect is based on seller experience, not an official Amazon policy. It is best to treat this early phase as an opportunity to establish strong performance indicators rather than as a guaranteed advantage. I have created a separate video lesson that explains effective pricing methods and launch strategies in greater detail, and you can find the link to that video in the description below. Now let's focus on the gift wrapped option visible on your screen. It is highly recommended to enable this setting. Turning it on allows customers to purchase your item as a gift, which can noticeably increase your sales, particularly if your product is something that people often buy as a present. In Seller Central, under the gift options section, you can activate both gift wrap and gift message options for your listings. After that, ensure that the max order quantity field is filled in with a value greater than 0. This is another area where new sellers commonly make mistakes. Leaving it blank or at 0 can cause confusion since Amazon's system might interpret it as unlimited or default to another internal value depending on your marketplace. Setting a maximum order quantity is extremely important. While it might seem smart to let customers buy as many units as they want, This can lead to serious problems during promotional campaigns. I've seen many new sellers lose their entire stock during a sale or coupon event simply because they did not set purchase limits. In one case, a single buyer managed to use a discount code repeatedly and bought out all of the seller's inventory for just a few dollars. To avoid that, always define a reasonable max order quantity according to your available inventory and promotional plan. Once that's configured, you can proceed to the final section, safety and compliance. The fields you see here will differ depending on your product category. In my example, you can notice that several of these are mandatory. In the country of origin field, enter the country where your product is manufactured or sourced. For example, in my case, these products are made in China. If your product does not contain any batteries, make sure to clearly mark that. If your product is classified as dangerous goods, also known as hazmat, you'll need to select the relevant options and provide the required documentation. If you have multiple safety or compliance certificates, you can upload them by clicking Add More. In the final section, if your product is subject to any government regulations, such as California's CARB compliance or other similar standards, you can indicate that here. In my situation, this is not applicable. However, selecting Not Applicable does not mean you are exempt from following actual compliance laws or Amazon policies. If your product is legally required to meet certain standards, you are still fully responsible for ensuring compliance. I'll explain more about these regulatory requirements in the upcoming segment. Before moving forward, it's wise to once again review the page for any hidden or optional fields that might be relevant to your product. Fill them in wherever applicable, as even non-mandatory fields can help improve your listing's overall quality and discoverability in Amazon search results. Once everything is complete, click Submit. Congratulations, your product listing has now been successfully created. Remember, you can always return to edit your listing whenever necessary. Go to the top menu, open Inventory, select Manage All Inventory, and then click Edit Listing. Now here's something crucial you must keep in mind. Even if you've gone through every step and there are no error messages, that doesn't always mean your listing is fully compliant or approved for sale. As mentioned earlier, if there are any category restrictions or compliance requirements, you still need to meet them. Amazon's system may not immediately detect these issues, but it will eventually flag them. When that happens, you'll be required to complete product approval or upload the necessary compliance documentation before you can continue selling that item. Let's take a closer look at how that process works. Amazon maintains a comprehensive list of prohibited products. These are items that sellers are strictly forbidden from listing or selling on the platform. You can access the complete list through the Help section linked here. Additionally, Amazon has specific gated categories and products that require prior approval before you can list them. To sell in one of these restricted categories, you must first obtain what is called ungating. You can find the full list of categories and check which ones require approval. Keep in mind that even if the main category is open, some subcategories may still be gated. For example, Apple-branded or Apple-compatible accessories, such as iPhone mobile covers, chargers, or cables, fall under Amazon's restricted brands list. You cannot sell products that display the Apple logo or use Apple's registered trademarks unless you are an authorized reseller or hold direct approval from Amazon. However, if you are selling generic mobile covers that simply fit iPhone models, without displaying the Apple logo, without referencing Apple in branding, and without infringing on any trademarks, you can usually sell them as unbranded or private label items. In such cases, your product title and description should focus on compatibility rather than brand association. For example, you can write mobile cover compatible with iPhone 17 instead of iPhone 17 mobile cover by Apple. Always double-check your listing content to ensure it does not imply affiliation with Apple or any other restricted brand. If Amazon detects potential trademark infringement, your listing may be removed or your account may be flagged for violation. The ungating process varies in complexity. For certain categories, you only need to fill out a short online form and answer a few basic questions. For others, you might have to upload supporting documentation and invoices for review. I will include links to those application pages in the description below. Compliance becomes especially critical when it involves product safety. Some products must undergo testing and certification before they are eligible for sale. Examples include electronics, food items, beauty and skincare products, toys, and baby-related goods. You will not be permitted to list or sell any of these items without submitting the proper safety documentation. Typically, your supplier or manufacturer should already have these certificates and testing reports ready. If they do not, you'll need to get your products tested and certified independently by an accredited laboratory, which can be expensive. This is why it's so important to verify compliance requirements early on and ensure your supplier can provide the required paperwork before proceeding with bulk orders. Fortunately, Amazon provides a product compliance or safety and compliance section that helps you determine whether your product requires certifications. When you open the compliance section, click on the provided tool link. A disclaimer will appear stating, if you supply products for sale on Amazon, you must comply with all applicable laws and Amazon policies for each of those products and product listings. The information on this page is provided for informational purposes only, and it is the seller's responsibility to verify the accuracy before submission. Scroll down and search for the type of product you plan to sell. The tool will indicate whether specific documentation or testing certifications are required. For instance, if you want to sell children's toys or plush dolls, they might appear simple and harmless at first, but when you check Amazon's compliance tool, you will find that they fall under strict safety standards such as ASTM F963 and CPSIA. To sell these items on Amazon, you must provide proper documentation, including test reports from an ISO 17025 accredited laboratory, confirming that your products comply with these child safety regulations and are made from non-toxic materials. Also, be sure to review the dangerous goods compliance section. If your product contains batteries or materials classified as hazardous, you will need to provide the required dangerous goods documentation as specified there. As you can see, if you source products like these from a factory or small manufacturer that cannot provide ASTM F963 or CPSIA certification, you could end up with inventory that cannot legally be listed or sold on Amazon. And that's not the end of it. There is still one more factor that can prevent your listing from going live, which I will explain in the next step. Now let's move on to how you can add your product to an existing listing, which is typically done for wholesale or retail arbitrage models. Go back to the List Your Products page. You'll find several ways to locate an existing listing. One option is to use the keywords method. Simply type the name of your product and choose the correct match from the search results, ensuring it is an exact match. Alternatively, you can use the Product ID option by entering the UPC barcode printed on the product's packaging or on the item itself. For instance, if you are trying to list used or refurbished iPhone mobile phones, you will see that Amazon requires brand approval before allowing the listing. Similarly, even accessories compatible with Apple devices, such as iPhone mobile covers, require careful attention to branding rules, as Apple is one of Amazon's most restricted brands. Generic or private label covers without Apple's logo or trademark references are generally acceptable. However, this is not always the case for every product. Let's look at another example. Say you want to sell the Nivea Double Effect Eye Makeup Remover. It's a highly popular item with thousands of reviews and multiple sellers already offering it. When you attempt to add this product, you'll see a notice stating, "You are not approved to list this product, and we are not currently accepting applications." This demonstrates exactly why it's critical to add your product on Amazon before purchasing your inventory. Doing this first ensures that you have the proper authorization to sell the product and prevents you from being stuck with unsellable stock. If the product you are listing does not require approval, proceed by filling out the offer section just as we did previously. By now, the fields should look familiar. Once completed, click Submit. Remember, when selling wholesale or arbitrage products, you are competing with other sellers offering the identical product. Your primary competition will be price, but buy box eligibility also depends on fulfillment method, delivery speed, and seller performance metrics such as order defect rate and feedback score. To win the buy box, ensure your pricing is competitive and that your operational metrics remain strong. You can check which seller currently holds the buy box and at what price, then adjust your price field accordingly. Finally, as before, select your fulfillment method and enter your pricing details. If you plan to list the same product in multiple marketplaces, keep in mind that you don't have to re-enter all the core product details again. The brand owner or original listing creator has already provided the main information when the product was first listed. However, you may still need to update marketplace-specific details such as pricing, currency, and language before submitting. If you had a good time watching, go ahead and drop a comment, share it with your friends, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button so you're first in line for all the exciting videos coming up.